Good evening from the National Weather Service office in Lake Charles. I'm meteorologist Donald Jones, and this is your weather briefing for Wednesday, August 23rd, with the latest on newly regenerated tropical depression Harvey. Let's start by taking a look at the situation overview for Harvey. And we are expecting Harvey to become a tropical storm later on this evening or tonight. Harvey is expected to continue to move slowly to the northwest over the next day or two before making landfall late Friday or early Saturday morning along the central Texas coast, likely as either a strong tropical storm or possibly a weak Category 1 hurricane. The primary hazards are going to be heavy rain as well as some storm surge with smaller threats for strong winds or isolated tornadoes Friday and into the weekend. Taking a look at the latest satellite imagery of Tropical Depression Harvey, you can see it's moved off the northwestern coast of the Yucatan Peninsula this afternoon, and the storm is moving very slowly, only at about 2 miles per hour or so. Now we do expect that forward speed to increase slightly over the next day or so, but it's not going to be a very quick moving storm. And the longer it spends over the warm Gulf waters, the more opportunity it will have to strengthen before landfall. This is the latest forecast from the National Hurricane Center for Tropical Depression Harvey. Again, it is expected to become a tropical storm sometime later tonight as it gradually works its way generally to the northwest with an expected landfall along the Big Bend area of Texas sometime late Friday or early Saturday. Current sustained winds with Harvey are at 35 miles per hour, and as I mentioned, it's moving very slowly to the northwest at only about 2 miles per hour. Now take a look at days 4 and 5 for the position points for Harvey. As you can see, after it makes landfall, it just kind of meanders along the Texas coastline. And at this point, there's very low confidence in the exact evolution of where the storm's ultimately going to go once it makes landfall. The steering currents that steer this system are very weak, so until the storm further develops, the exact location of where the center is going to wind up down the road is still kind of up in the air. You can see the hurricane watches issued for the central Texas coastline highlighted in pink, and tropical storm watches for the northern Mexican coast highlighted in yellow. Of course, for our area, by far the largest impact is going to be the potential for some very heavy rainfall, and you can see that in some of the expected forecast total rainfall amounts shown here. We're going to be looking at anywhere from 7 to as much as 15 inches of rain, perhaps even more locally, perhaps up to 20 inches of rain, over the course of the weekend through early next week. Now the good news is this isn't going to fall all at once. It's not going to be a single day event where we're going to see 10 or 15 inches in one day. It's going to fall over probably anywhere from a 3 to 5 day period. But still, even with it spread out, 15 to 20 inches of rain is still going to cause some widespread flash flooding across the area. The highest rainfall totals, as expected, are going to be across parts of southeast Texas, with totals gradually decreasing as we go further east. A lower threat, but something we're still going to have to keep in mind, is going to be the potential for some minor storm surge. At this point, taking a look at the graphic for southeast Texas, the areas of greatest risk are going to be for Sabine Pass and then low spots in Bridge City. And this is going to be mainly during high tides, which we have listed on here. You can see the high tide Friday evening is going to be at 6:53, so Friday evening will be a threat, and then Saturday morning again at 6:38 a.m. We're looking at water anywhere from about 1 to 3 feet above ground level in these areas. A little bit further east, across southwest Louisiana, the greatest areas of risk are going to be across Holly Beach, Cameron, Highway 27, and those other areas listed here. We're going to be looking at very similar timing as far as high tides go, with a Friday evening at about 6:23 and then again Saturday morning. That should say a.m. instead of p.m., but 6:25 a.m. Saturday morning. And again, we're looking at 1 to 3 feet water above ground level in these areas. Going even further east over towards Vermilion Bay, areas including Intracoastal City, Delcambre, Sycamore Point, and Burns Point will all be under risk of anywhere from 1 to 2 feet of water above ground level, with the largest threat times again being during those high tides Friday evening and Saturday morning. We are still going to see some breezy winds out of this system, and the strongest winds are going to depend on exactly how close the center gets to our area, but we're not expecting very strong winds at this point. Gusty winds of 20 to 30 miles per hour, especially along the coast, up to about 40 miles per hour is going to be our max right now. And at this point, we're kind of expecting these late Friday into early Saturday, but again, that's going to be highly dependent on exactly where that center meanders once it makes landfall. As with any landfalling tropical cyclone, there will be the possibility, albeit very low, for tornadoes in some of those outer rain bands if they move over the area Friday and into the weekend. So to summarize, Tropical Depression Harvey is expected to become a tropical storm later on this evening or tonight. Harvey is expected to make landfall late Friday or early Saturday along the central Texas coast as either a strong tropical storm or perhaps a weak Category 1 hurricane. Again, the primary hazard is going to be heavy rain and then to a lesser extent storm surge, with smaller threats including the potential for some gusty winds and isolated tornadoes. And finally, we want to mention that to stay tuned for updates because this is a very weak system and forecast confidence remains low on the specific timing and duration of these events. As the storm strengthens and we get closer to landfall, more detailed information will become available. For additional weather information, you can check out our Facebook or Twitter pages, and we'll continue to update you with the latest information as long as the threat remains. Have a good evening.